Hello and welcome. Today I'm joined by my mum Karen. She's going to be going through and pruning a load of the tomatoes. So we are trellising our tomatoes on our A-frames this year, which is really good. And I'm going through, be massively helpful, and I'm going to be putting, what did you call these sacks, Mum? Yeah. What did you call these? Organza. Organza? I'm going to be using these organza sacks. I didn't know they were called that. I thought they were just called jewellery bags. But I'm going to be using these, and what these are going to be doing is I'm going to be putting them over the top of my tomatoes to save seeds from them. As you probably know from experience, seeds are well, they're not super expensive, but they do add up. So I don't want to spend money on seeds that I already have. I want to use the money that I have to buy seeds that I don't have, so therefore I have all the tomatoes in the world. I think there's actually 3,000 different varieties of tomatoes, and we're like, what, 200 in at this point? It's going to be something that we could actually achieve in our lifetime. What do you reckon? Probably not. Do you reckon you could grow 2,000, 3,000 tomatoes in a lifetime? 3,000? How many do you... No, like for individual varieties. Do you reckon that you could do that in a lifetime? How many would you have to do a year if you So say you garden for 20 years, how many tomatoes would you have to grow 3,000 varieties?
How many?
So 3,000 varieties over, let's say 30 years. Wait, how old am I now? I'm 33 now. I'll live until 63, right? I'll probably garden till about 70, yeah? Did Grandma garden till she was 70? 40 years, so over 40 years, say.
So 3,000 divided by how many years?
Say 40.
75 varieties a year.
That's really doable. That's really doable. We've got 62 varieties this year.
Yeah, so
that's
you're going to reach it.
No, not counting this year, but if I've got another 40 years, I'll die, what, about 83?
Possibly.
Give or take is the average life expectancy. So that still gives me another, like, 7 years extra.
I don't know, all the females in my family have died at 76, unless they've gone on to 90.
76? Yeah, but I've still got 4 years there. 4 years extra, so 43 years. Doesn't feel very many. Thanks for that little bit of information.
Well, that's on my mum's side.
Or on your dad's side?
90s.
Yeah, but how old's Grandma?
99.
How old's Grandma? She's 73, right?
Yeah, she's only got another 3 years in her.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She's rallying. She's great.
She's number 3.
She's fun. She goes to me every year. She goes, I don't really want anything for my birthday. All I want is a card, right? And I say to her, no, I'm not buying you a card, because the year I buy you a card, you're going to give you something to live for, doesn't it, at her age?
Yeah.
She does say that every year. She goes, don't buy me anything, just get me a card. No, you're not having a card. I don't understand all this obsession with cards, personally. I don't like a card. So, 70 what? Different varieties a year? That's a lot, isn't it? It's doable, though. I don't know if I'll do it, but it's doable. We'll make it even, like 100. My mum's very good at maths. I'm not very good at maths. Do you remember, Mum, when we were at the allotment shop? So we were at the allotment shop the other day and I was buying these canes. And I go to the person, what was it? I wanted 2 lots of £3 canes and 1 lot of £5 canes. So I was like, right, 3 plus 3 is 6, yeah? Plus 5 is 9. And I couldn't work out why he was trying to charge me £12, right? Is that 12? 3 plus 3
6.
plus 5 is 12. 11. The worst thing is that I actually used to teach maths. And it was the other thing as well, it was £13 each, right, buying 2 of them. So I was like, right, that's £23, but it's not, is it? £26. I did say to them at work, I said, don't let me teach maths. It won't be good for the entire school. They put me on physics. Which is probably as mathy as maths is, isn't it, really? I'm all right with a calculator, but if I don't have a calculator, I'm useless, as you know. But anyone asks me, I say my mum taught me all the maths I know. I think it's astounding that I actually got a pass grade at GCSE. So I'll use him for a seed saver. Don't want to have too many suckers on it though. Do you hear me? You're not listening. You're meant to be taking off the suckers as well, Mum. This one, you just trellised up the sucker.
Have I?
Yeah.
He looks quite healthy though, doesn't he?
He looks very healthy. This is another one that we should have trimmed off, but it's fine. What we're going to do is use this for seed saving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch off the growing tip so it can't grow anymore on that sucker. And then I'm going to remove this leaf because it's kind of in the way. And then the whole thing is going to go into one of these, what are they called? Mum, what are these called? Organza bags, like so. And what this organza bag stops, the tomatoes being pollinated by any insects. So I'm just going to tie it tightly round so that the insects can't crawl into the, what was it called, organza bag? Organza bag. How do you know that word? It's very important that your organza bags have got multiple colours so they look pretty. You've just like trellised everything, haven't you? Excited about saving all these seeds. So saving tomato seeds, you actually have to ferment them, so they'll be on the side in jars, and Bob absolutely hates it when I do that. That's probably his least favourite thing about me. That's not nice. It is the least favourite though out of all the many things. Someone's going to come over my allotment and wonder, what is this woman doing with all of these Hessian, what are they called again? Organza bags. They probably aren't going to say organza bags, no one knows what they're called.
That's because that's the material it's made out of, organza.
Organza. I'll remember that now. And then one day it will pop into my head and I'll be like, oh, I know what that's called, it's called an organza bag. Look at the colour of these ones. Look at that. Aren't they well nice? They're starting to ripen here. The bottom, oh, they look so good. What are these? Oh, these are Afternoon Delight. Oh, aren't they nice? They're a new variety to me.
Are they?
Yeah, I haven't grown them ones before.
Wash my hands.
Isn't that nice? Such a pretty colour. That's Afternoon Delight, new variety for us. I've actually left the labels on some of them, which is, if you know me, big achievement. I definitely want some of these Afternoon Delight seeds. So the advantage of having these Seedsaving is that they're actually going to be a lot better and more adapted to our environment, which is what we want. So these are going to grow better next year than they did this year, and every year that I Seedsave, they're going to get better and better and better. Also, it means that I can donate seeds to seed saving places, which I think is really important. So you need to make sure that all of your tomato flowers are completely closed, because although like cherries won't cross with like beefsteaks, etc., these will and can easily cross when bugs are like going around. These are wind pollinated as well, so if you tap them like this, they will actually pollinate themselves. As you can see here, you've got all but one that is not open, so I'll take that one off that is open. I know it's a waste, and I will put all of those, that whole trellis, in there like that, and then I'll tie this onto the stem of the plant, or the branch of the plant I should say. And then what I'll do is I'll be able to save all of these seeds, which means I'll be giving some of them away and etc. Means I can be more generous. And next year I won't be like, oh, I've only got 10 seeds, so now I've only got 8 seeds, 7 seeds. You know what I mean? I'll have brand new seeds that are like at the prime of their existence, so it'll be great. So when I first started off gardening, I actually started off with 6 plants, and I'm pretty sure it was purple calabash, black beauty, chocolate cherry, white cherry, chocolate stripe, and there was one more. I think it was blonde head. They were my 6 tomatoes, they were my gateway. Before that I had 1 tomato plant, which was a red cherry and I had it in my flat, and this is why I say you can just garden anywhere, because I had it in my flat, right, and I was on the 6th floor, I think it was, no escalator. That I was really fit back then because I could walk up the stairs, and what I did was I had it on the windowsill, and it was north facing, so it was an awful window to have it on, and we grew it up there, and we used to use chopsticks, and we used to tie the chopsticks together to make like a little trellis for it to be tied to. Jasmine actually killed it because she hugged it and it snapped, but we did get a few tomatoes off that before she loved it to death. See, that's what I mean, you can overlove your plants, you can overlove them, guys. So you only need these bags on there until they start setting fruit. After they start setting fruit, you can just put a little bit of ribbon on them so that you know which ones you're going to save, and hopefully the rabbits won't eat them. How gutted would I be if the rabbits eat the ones I save? So why save seeds? Seeds are a little legacy of your garden. So you are reconstructing the best plants from the year before. By saving the seeds, you're keeping that DNA and keeping that particular plant alive. You'll also be able to enjoy the best produce that you're able to produce. The kids absolutely love saving seeds as well, so it's a great way to get them involved in the garden. How to save tomato seeds. So tomato seeds can be saved super easily. So what you would want to do if you have more than one variety and you are in a larger environment like this, you want to cover up the tomatoes before they flower with some form of sack. These little jewellery bags are so cheap and effective way of doing it. Once they've set the fruit, you can go ahead and remove them. What I do is just tie them around with a piece of ribbon so I know which one I'm going to keep. You only need one tomato from each variety, really. And then you can go ahead and let them ripen. You can either ripen them fully on the vine or wait for them to blush and pull them off and ripen them at home. It really doesn't matter which. Then you go ahead and scoop out the seeds with all the gel with them and spread them over a piece of kitchen roll and allow them to dry. You can ferment them in jars, which you just put a little bit of water and the scooped out seeds, and then they ferment over a few days, and then you put them through a strainer and run the water on them and all the gel will come off. This is the smelliest and grossest way to do it, but you do get a better germination rate, and I find if you put a lid on the jar, it is so much less smelly. I just want to express how smelly that is, so it is up to you if you want to do it that way, but putting them on a paper towel is super easy as well, and it's really easy to get the future produce that way, and you'll get seeds. You'll get so many seeds that you can give them away, you can keep them, you could really oversow as well. If you're a little bit like me, you're like, I don't really want to sow 2 to a cell because I've only got like 10 seeds, then of course you're not going to want to thin them out and only get 5 plants for like $3.99. But this way you honestly have so many seeds, so things like microgreens become, you know, more achievable, not with tomatoes but with other things. So saving seeds for other plants are completely easy as well. We've saved things like sweet corn, sunflowers, kale, lettuce, etc. It's super easy to keep them, and you do get a better germination rate and a better plant. My best germination rate has been with my self-saved carrot seeds this year. So you could just store them in old jars, envelopes, recycled containers, anything like that, but make sure that you stick on the name of the plant. You can pop the date on. I never bother doing that, but some people do. But the plant name is really important, because you will forget what you've actually stored in where over the next year. And just keep them in a cool, dry place. I actually keep them in my wardrobe in my bedroom, but you don't actually have to be as strange as I am. You can put them anywhere. I have lots of bean seeds in my kitchen because whatever I don't use, I make into baked beans, so that's a really handy one to have around. And this tip will save you tons of money. Like I said, it take you and will save you a lot of waste. It will also allow you to have a bit more confidence sowing more than one seed per cell, which is really good, because then you get guaranteed germination. When you save seeds, you actually get a plant that's more adapted to your area, so you get more stronger plants, which is what we're looking for. Plants that are more resilient and can be more productive over time, because these are heirloom varieties, and heirloom varieties are absolute treasures with rich flavours and are really interesting characteristics. Basically, whatever characteristic that you value the most, say that you think, for example, me, I think that flavour is the most important characteristic. So you can actually pick plants that are your favourite plants, that you can pick the best plant that produces the nicest flavoured tomato, for example, to save the seeds from, and you're basically going to be keeping a little bit of your garden alive. And what I really like about heirlooms is that you can actually hand them down to your children. So when they grow up, you can actually give them the seeds and be like, this is the seed that I've been saving for 50 years. Give it to them, and then they have that genetics. If you teach them how to save seeds, then they have food for the rest of their lives. And I think that's such a powerful gift. One of my friends has a farm in Eastern Europe, and their parents, I should say, they actually keep the seeds every single year. Okay, so they sow every year. You don't actually have to do that. It's every 5 years you need to save seeds. But they do it every year. They have a big farm though, so they probably use all of their seed every year. But she gave her daughter a load of seeds. And when she came over to the UK, we became friends and everything. And she actually gave me some of her seeds this year, or last year, for this year. And I just think that's an amazing gift. Can you imagine how much history that her grandparents started saving those seeds, and they've done it all the way through the generations. Now I have them seeds. That's like an amazing gift for someone. You can't get any more personal than that, can you? Which is outstanding, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.